You ever love a really good role play? Let's role play this out, okay? So she says, I open up to my partner, share my vulnerabilities, my fears, and he says, there's nothing to worry about. That is not actually being a supportive partner. So let's role play it out, okay? I'll be the partner. Hello. I don't know why I did the mustache thing. That was weird. And you say, I am worried about whatever that is. XYZ, give me your worst shot, okay? As the supportive partner who can hold space for someone, I go, tell me more about that. What are you worried about? Okay. Say more. I don't know that I'm following. Why do you think you feel that way? Like what's bringing this up? What happened? When did you start to feel that way? Okay. So if that were to happen, what would you be afraid would happen next? Girl, I'm not going anywhere. I totally understand. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand why you would think that, yeah. Okay, well, what is it you need? What is it you need to feel safe and comfortable, like, I'm not going anywhere? Send you good morning texts? Okay, yeah, done. I mean, I think about you in the morning anyways, you know? Right? Sorry, I couldn't help myself. So that would be somebody who is a safe partner. Not what is actually happening from this comment is being dismissive. I don't know about you. Have you ever calmed down because somebody told you to calm down? Have you ever stopped worrying about something because somebody told you to stop worrying? No, your brain has a perceived threat. And your nervous system is acting like that threat is happening right now. It's like basic psychology, okay? I don't expect everybody to understand psychology, but you have to understand your partner. And that is really where the disconnect is happening here, is that there's not a curiosity to understand your partner's experience. Chances are the person receiving this information who's being dismissive of it, like, I don't want to talk about it, I can't handle it, I don't know how to solve this for you, I don't know how to fix it, so we're just not even going to address it, we're going to brush it under the rug, and you have to suffer in silence because I can't hold space for you because I'm already overwhelmed and can't even handle my own shit, so how do you expect me to handle yours, right? Which is a valid statement. You are responsible for your emotional regulation. They are responsible for their own emotional regulation. But if you desire partnership, then you also both have to come together to solve for relationship problems together. It's a two-way street. Not you're the problem, you need to go do work. Because trust me, I've been there. And there are instances where that person has to do the bulk of the heavy lifting and the work. But here's the thing. You cannot will your partner to change enough. You cannot force your partner to change. You can give them the boundary of what will happen if they don't change, and then they get to decide what they do next. But what I see happen more often than not is, especially when we have these boundaries, is that person will comply out of people pleasing or appeasing you to get you to shut up. But it is not something they actually value for themselves. It's much like an addict, right? We can have all the interventions with an addict in the world, but if they don't actually choose healing their addiction and actually going to rehab and fixing it, curing it, whatever you want to call it, then it doesn't last because they're just doing it to appease people. But as soon as there's conflict or disconnect in the relationship, they go right back to their coping mechanisms, which in this case is being dismissive, which means, and don't hear that as dismissive avoidant, it's just dismissing her feelings, because they don't know how to connect. They don't have the tools to connect with you in your perceived fears. Your fears may be coming from childhood. Your fears may be coming from something they did that reminded you of a past situation. Your fears may be coming from them hurting you in this moment, right? Your fears are valid, even though they may not be based in reality, because your nervous system is feeling that. So we don't have to enable it by feeding into the fears. We want to understand it. And when you're dysregulated and you're coming to your partner, there is something that is called co-regulation, which actually can be very healthy, right? Not when we're completely dependent on our partner to help us feel a certain way, right? You need to be able to regulate your own self. But I know for me, like when I'm emotionally overwhelmed with something, I need somebody who is not in that emotional state to help me process and get me back into regulation. A lot of times that's just asking me better questions than I'm asking myself, because I am locked into the story in my head that is creating the fear. And even though I logically know this, guess what? When emotions come up, logic turns off. And so your partner can be a really great space for you to be able to process out your emotions. And guys, sometimes that's all we need. We just need to talk it through. We don't need you to solve it. We don't need you to fix it. Your job, ask really good questions like, what are you worried is going to happen? Why do you think that way? When did you start feeling that way? What caused this? What do you want? And we will process it out, right? And we can figure out our own things, or even just being able to give voice to our concerns and know that somebody else is there to hold that with us without judgment is enough. It is unbelievably simple to be able to hold space, a safe space, create a safe environment for your partner. All you do is you either ask questions or you shut up and listen. You don't have to respond. You don't have to get defensive. You don't have to take on anything personally. It is just letting them get it out of their head, and then the logic can kick in. And if there is a problem to solve for, then you two can logically solve for it together. But if you're going to start taking offense, and again, the partner has to be regulated. So if they're attacking you, that's not fair either. There's terms to all of this. But when you can ask better questions and recognize that what your partner is asking you is to just hold space for me to express because I need to work through something. Okay? And you don't have to take anything they say personally. It is just almost like a childlike response, like an emotional temper tantrum, if you will. Okay? If they're starting to get mean and nasty, you can go, time out. We're kind of crossing some boundaries here, and I don't want you to say anything you regret in the heat of the moment, so maybe we take a pause and we take a break and we come back to this conversation. Okay? But one of y'all has to stay regulated while the other one's emotional, right? So that we can co-regulate. The other one needs to work on their own emotional regulation skills so they're not completely dependent on you, that they can calm their nervous system down themselves. I have a 5-minute breathwork download that's for free, that's a great tool. So you can remind them to go do that, go do some quick breaths, right? That'll help them kind of come centered back where they're not having to do anything they can to get the emotion to come down, which means that they're projecting onto you. No, co-regulation means like, hey, I'm good. I can hold space for you. Okay. What's going on? Let's get it out. Tell me everything. What do you feel? Why do you feel that way? Where did that come from? What are you afraid will happen? What do you want to have happen? And how can I support you? Right? Those would all be great supportive ways to support your partner when they're in a dysregulated state, instead of just dismissing them because she's just going to internalize that. She's going to stuff it down and it's going to explode in some way, shape, or form, or she's going to stop taking care of herself. She'll get anxious, she'll get depressed, and she's not the best version of herself for anyone, including you. So, yeah, sis, that's not actually a supportive statement. Yeah. Sounds like you have something to be worried about. So I'll validate your experience. You should be able to express the things that worry you, even if they're not necessarily based in reality. Your body is perceiving that it's happening right now, and that's why it feels afraid. And hey, my name's Tara, and I'm on a mission to create a self-aware army because it's lonely in these self-aware streets.